After years of working with pain and inflammation, I created these blends to support the nervous system naturally. Decompress Blend. This was formerly called fibromyalgia. But to call a blend fibromyalgia is to basically diagnose someone who's using it. So we changed the name to Decompress. As I teach about this oil, I hop in and out of fibromyalgia and decompress all the time. So just know that it's in my brain as fibromyalgia, but to be compliant, we call it decompress because that's what it does. It decompresses the nervous system. And so let's talk about the oils that are in this blend. So we have lavender, cedarwood, patchouli, and peppermint. We have two particular oils here that talk about the soul. And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to give a little history about decompress here in a minute. But let's talk about lavender. Lavender sets the stage with our triad. Cedarwood is good for the soul. The soul was worn out long before the body in this particular condition. This oil helps the body reconnect with the soul that is lost, torn, or forgotten. Patchouli, while good for physical skin comfort, patchouli works really good with skin conditions on a physical level. That's almost its primary purpose. But on a secondary purpose, a purpose inside that triad, it's an oil that reconnects the soul to the body emotionally. It is both peaceful and guiding. And you find patchouli in a lot of blends that have to do with guidance and peace and spiritual guidance and that sort of thing. So it has a very good high secondary component and not just the skin comfort. And peppermint is physically supportive to the nervous system and supports balance of impulses in both directions at the same time. So a baseline regulation, not too high, not too low, just a nice steady output. So as you look at the profile of this oil, you can tell that we're talking to the soul. And so you're probably wondering what in the world fibromyalgia has to do with the soul. So let me talk to you about my experience with fibromyalgia. So a majority of the clients that got on my table, I would have to say most all of them, the history behind the condition was very drastic. This person either went through a lot of childhood trauma, whether that was emotional, physical, sexual abuse, those sorts of things. They had that kind of history inside their body. And so their nervous system was very keyed. Their soul was very tired from fighting. And the other person that I saw that fibromyalgia developed so quickly with was a parent that lost a child. So that level of stress, mourning, and grief, and that tearing of the soul created that condition in the body. And I was raised by an electrical engineer. My father was an electrical engineer, and I understood electricity, and I helped with drawings and drafting and all that when I was younger. And so I understood how electricity is contained and how you have to have certain features in order to make it work correctly. And I look at fibromyalgia electrically. What I see is that the person who went through the trauma, the emotional and soul level trauma that they experienced inside their body, altered something inside their body. It was so intense, it fried their nervous system. And so in the nervous system's attempt to protect itself, it would actually flip-flops the sensation. So it takes those receptors that felt pain and makes them only feel pressure. But the pressure receptors now feel the pain. It was a way to protect what was going on so you didn't literally fry out the system. And I see flames going down electrical lines when you have too much of a load coming through to handle it. And that's exactly what I saw with these people. And so in my mind's eye, I look at it as we have to go in and we have to calm the soul, and then we have to calm the nervous system so that we can actually work with the body as close to normal as possible. We have to turn off the emotional trigger that's running the nervous system so that we can treat the body to try and get through what's going on, that cycle that occurs. And once you have fibromyalgia, and this is an Amyism again, I don't know that you ever get rid of it. I don't know that the body has a way to flip it back to the way it was before. So it is a condition you learn to manage, and you learn how to clear out your mental, emotional side and feed your soul in order to manage it. It's not exercise and eating right and all those kinds of things. It is a soul level problem. So I love this blend because it teaches the body how to get back to a state of being on the deepest level, which is with your soul. Here's where I like to talk about using decompress and adrenal fatigue together. I use them together because they work together so well. So now we're taking two synergistic blends and we're putting them together synergistically again. So there's times when I'm working with an individual who's experiencing exhaustion and pain. In this case, I use both the Adrenal Blend and the Decompress Blend to help the body better tolerate and integrate the massage process. Can you see how, as a massage therapist, the exhaustion and the pain are hard to get past when you're trying to help the body get to a better state? You have to calm these things down so you have access into the muscles that then can perpetuate more change, which then can create this healing process on a much deeper level for people. Sometimes people can be in such a state of depletion that anything makes them worse. These are fibromyalgia people. Even help, even positive help. This is a great time to use both oils, allowing the individual to gently receive what you can offer. And this is when you can stack these oils. And stacking is covered here after we talk about the profiles, but they can include four drops of Decompress and 4 drops of Adrenal, or 5 or 2 or whatever. Somewhere you're keeping it under 10 or something like that, 10 to 12 drops, 8 to 10 drops, but realize that more is not better. So stacking these 2 oils together, you can just use equal amounts of them, or if they need one more than the other, then you can adjust accordingly to the client.